当少年詹姆斯第一次遇见乔老爷子，并和他肩并肩站在赛场上打球是什么场景？我们可以通过2个版本不同时期詹姆斯的访谈得出大概。或许他对老爷子的态度并非当下大多数人们所想的一样。
Was there when you're a kid, who did you look up to? Who was in your mind your game you were playing?
Wow, I love Michael Jordan. The way that he approached the game, the way that he led his troops when he went out on the court, and his never say die attitude, man, was something I always looked up to.
You meet him? You know him?
Yeah.
What was it like meeting Michael Jordan for you? Was that pretty cool?
Oh yeah, it was great. For me to meet Michael Jordan, it was like, I think it was better than the president.
Let me tell you a story, as a matter of fact. So I'm growing up watching this guy on TV every day, and I'm like, wow, he's an amazing basketball player. Hopefully someday I get an opportunity to meet him. So
when I met Michael Jordan for the first time, I literally couldn't believe it was him.
I seen him walking towards me, and it was kind of like he was walking on air.
And to me, it looked like he was like levitating. I was like, this guy didn't even, he walked over here and his feet didn't even touch the ground.
I had to pinch myself. Is that Michael? Who? And it's like he was like Black Jesus to me.
I couldn't believe it. Like people, I felt the dude looked like Jesus Christ to me.
I was like, are you finally here?
He was Black Jesus to me. Nobody could tell me anything different.
I think it was my junior year in high school. I go up to Chicago and I go to a gym called Hoops where he plays basketball in the summertime.
I was in Chicago, Maverick and I and our good friend G. They take us to Hoops. I'm going there.
I didn't know he was going to be there.
And before they play, they say Mike always, used to lift before they play. Mav know the story. So we walk upstairs. And nobody told me that Mike lifted before he played. I don't know anything about lifting right now. I'm a high school sophomore. I don't know anything about lifting. We walk up there. The first person I see is Charles Oakley. Oak being from Cleveland, dapped him up. I had seen Oak around the city a few times,
Tim Grover had the gym, and we always, come in and work out.
And Oak moved, and when he moves, Mike is sitting on the bench press. And I was like, oh, my fucking God.
For LeBron, I was like Black Jesus.
I didn't think he was real, man. You don't understand. I didn't think Michael Jordan was real. I only thought he lived in the TV, either in games or commercials. I didn't think he was real.
He hung around all day with us and just had the ball.
And it was like, holy shit. It's Michael Jordan. Like, it's Michael Jeffrey Jordan in the flesh. And I couldn't believe it. And we went back upstairs into the weight room. There's just me, him, Tim, G, and LeBron. And he talked to us for like 15 minutes. And that was the first time LeBron ever met Michael. We talked for about maybe even a little bit longer.
I think LeBron learned something from being there because he saw that hard work pay off.
If the man above would have took me that day, I'd have lived a hell of a life, I swear to God.
Yeah, so that was like one of the best feelings
now,
I've ever had.
Had he, at that point in your life, in your basketball career, had he heard of you? Did he know of you?
Well, yeah, I think he did.
And Michael sat and had a conversation with us just about basketball. And I honestly don't remember anything that was said in the conversation. He was very, I think he was talking to LeBron about like NBA and being a pro and giving him lessons, but it was like, everything just sounded like blurred out to me, like I was listening to God speak. It was like, I don't even remember what he was saying, and that was the first time he met Michael and myself.
He called me a young fella, of course, and just basically told me to keep working at it, and someday I can get to the NBA. I was a junior in high school, so, I guess he told me something right, and I just kept working at it.
Yeah.
Well, and when I got back home to Akron, and I told my boys, because they know how crazy I am about MJ, they was like, no, you're lying. I'm like, dog, I was, not only did I see Mike, I was on the court with Mike.
And maybe it didn't work out chronologically. I'm guessing did you ever get to play any kind of game with him?
And so when he was 16, he was out there playing. And if you watch the game, he wasn't like dominating. Yeah. He wasn't like, but he didn't stick out. You didn't go like, oh, there's a kid out there. It was like, oh, there's just another player out there. Like, he got a couple buckets.
And, for me, when I got the opportunity, they didn't let me play for like the first hour. I'm like,
the young guy
I'm 16. Yeah, the young guy, I'm sitting there just waiting my turn. And to be honest, I didn't even think I would even get the opportunity to play. And the only reason I played is because the guys that was in the league, after after an hour, some of them niggas get tired. They're like, what, I'm done with this shit. I'm done with this shit. Hey, young fella, hey, we need a fifth. You want to play?
he wasn't at all ready to defend. But on offense, you know, if you can pass, you can play. And he could pass, and he had the size and the ability to get in and got a couple buckets. And it'd be interesting to see how he remembers those games. That's actually something I may have to ask him about this summer when we're chilling, is like, how does he remember those games?
Yeah.
And did he take anything from it like that was a gauge?